Although the building still stands with the stone marking that occasion, so much has changed in medical knowledge and expertise that what takes place inside is very different from how patients were treated then. As I look back over the history of the hospital, the first thing that strikes me is the tremendous change in the number of clinical staff we employ. In those days, the 800 or so inpatients were in hospital much longer, and only about 12 doctors were on hand to help. It was a time when many mothers died in childbirth, and little could be done to alleviate pain. Visiting hours were severely restricted. Even children in hospital for long periods had only twice-weekly visitors, if they were lucky. Some others even had to be satisfied with friends and relatives peering in at the window. In my own childhood, there was still little that could be done for many patients. Since then, modern medicine and practices have dramatically changed, and our expectations are justifiably much higher. And yet I sometimes wonder whether we are less satisfied with what is achieved and tend to criticise rather than praise the expertise and commitment of our staff. Today, we shall be holding a service of thanksgiving. We want to remember not only all those who've gone before, but to give thanks for the 6,500 staff and volunteers who provide the care, the food, the clean laundry and much more for all the 250,000 people who come in hospital each year as patients. We look forward to our future.
Christine Bowring, who's the chairman of Nottingham City Hospital, with a special thought for the day for us marking 100 years of it. We'll be live at the City Hospital in the next hour of this morning's breakfast show. It is Tuesday, it is the 18th of March 2003. The forecast for Robin Hood... Nottingham City Hospital. Nottingham City Hospital is 100 today. Let's wind the clock back, shall we? When the first patients were admitted back on March the 18th, 1903, things were very different from they are now. Kevin Stanley has been discovering things for us this morning. In fact, he's taken the radio car out there. Good morning to you, Kevin.
Yes, good morning, Carl. Things actually not so different from 1903 today, because in front of me are several people who are dressed in the costumes of the day, and very regal they look now. In fact, I think we should go back to this sort of stuff. We've got top hat and tails for the chief executive, Jerry McSorley, who is now dusting down Christine Bowring, who is the hospital's chairman. Christine, you're looking very smart today. Why are you all dressed up like this, then?
Well, we felt that we wanted to make something that was really different to mark 1903 when the hospital was opened, and we felt we could do nothing better than get the board to dress up in the costumes that they might have been wearing at that time.
So these are all the top brass of the hospital, and very smart they look. And rather appropriately, we're standing in front of the Trust headquarters, and this was part of the original building, wasn't it?
Oh, this was very much part of the original Bagthorpe workhouse and the infirmary, Nottingham Infirmary. And on March the 18th, 1903, a gathering of the board were here, and it's the directors of the hospital that are dressed up as we all are, looking rather ridiculous.
It's called it was called Bagthorpe Workhouse. Does that suggest what went on inside? Was it that sort of place?
Very much so. There were two institutes on this site, the Bagthorpe Workhouse, which I'm afraid does reflect the people who were sent here who needed help, and the infirmary, which is where the main entrance is now to Nottingham City Hospital.
We'll talk to the boss in a moment, but first, matron, what are you doing? You look very, I have to say, you look quite imposing. I'm rather scared, but what's your normal job here?
I'm normally the director for nursing.
So appropriately you're in a matron's uniform?
I am appropriately in a matron's uniform, yes.
And over the years as a sort of director of nursing, working your way up the ladder, have you come across some tricky patients?
Yes, I think we've all come across tricky patients in our time.
OK, we'll move over here, and Jerry is here, Jerry McSorley, who's the chief executive. I think you look like you're going to a wedding, actually.
Thank you very much indeed, yes. No, it's going to be a fantastic day, which hopefully we will be, yes.
And a couple of special events, one at 11:30 this morning, is that right?
Yes, the hospital's honorary archivist is giving a talk on the history, Paul Swift, in the Postgraduate Centre. So that will be very interesting indeed. And of course, today is the launch of our commemorative Centenary book.
So the book is out later today. I'd imagine that's going to be fascinating for anyone who's ever been associated with this hospital.
Oh, it's a marvellous memento of the history of 100 years, the way in which the hospital, medicine, nursing and paramedic care has progressed in that time. And as a testament to the efforts that people have put in over that 100 years, it's a fantastic buy.
And a service of thanksgiving later on.
Indeed, as a commemoration for all of the care and devotion that staff over the years have put into patients that have come to the hospital for treatment.
And finally, back to yourself, Christine. Later this year, of course, you're going to be having a reunion for anyone who's ever been involved with the hospital.
Oh, yes, there is. On July the 5th, we've got Open Gala Day here at the hospital, so anyone who's involved. There's also a reunion for nursing staff on June the 12th. So.
Sounds like an excuse for a party. I'm standing actually on a time capsule that was dug in on the 9th of January 2003. Perhaps one of my successors might be here on the 9th of January 2103. Is that right? Yes, to see how things are going on. For the meantime, this is Kevin Stanley among the celebrations outside Nottingham City Hospital.
A great start to the day. Carl Cooper at breakfast on BBC Radio Nottingham.
Great. Thanks very much, Kevin. We wish them all the very best with their 100th birthday celebrations at Nottingham City Hospital. It's just gone 7 minutes now to 9. Simon will be here at the top of the hour.